What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great edition of No Love Philly, the podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, breweries, basically anybody in, around, or passing through the city of brotherly love that makes this place as awesome as it is. Today we have a great interview with Maddie Clouser of Good How Are You Fest, Good How Are You Records, Tralfamadore. This dude is in the scene big time. So we're talking about kind of Good How Are You and kind of its evolution from a festival to a monthly showcase where locals can show off their newest digs. For those that don't know, Maddie is a big part of the underground house show scene here. And we talk about the festival, Good How Are You? We talk about Great How Have You Been? We talk about this record collective, the Good How Are You, the record label, and how it's all these awesome people coming together to do a bunch of rad shit. And then we also want to let you know about Good How Are You Fest. I believe this is the second one. And this is kind of the thing that spawned it all in regards to Good How Are You. It's this festival kind of spawned the label. It spawned the monthly showcase at Tralfamadore, and that's what's getting it going. So on this festival takes place May 10th, 11th, and 12th at 3 different locations. The first one's at Coble with Church Girls, Blushed, Cast Shadows, Canyon Ride, Very Bad Vibes, and Chris Fortunato, which I'm super excited to hear about or see his solo stuff. And then you've got 511 going down at Slime Time Live, which will be one of the last shows, if it's not the last show, for Slime Time Live. That place is shutting down. I'm super curious to find out what's going to happen next. But for that one, you have the also famous Trash Boy. You have Kelsey Cork and the Swigs, Madam West, Kat Hamilton, Elaine Rasnake, Eric Kramer, Puppy Angst, and then it all ends where it begins at Tralfamadore. 512. You've got Yenar, Secret Nudist Friends, Honey Tiger, Mavis the Dog, Alyssa, I guess that's Danelle Velveteen. I hope I said that right. Busy Bee Project, Overwinter, and Native Flora and State School Girl. We also on this podcast get to speak with Overwinter. They are a very awesome person, and it's a rad interview, man. We really get to learn about Maddie's up and down and handling stuff at at Tralfamadore during the monthly showcase of Good How Are You, and during that time we got to speak with Overwinter and talk about their project, and it's a pretty rad interview. So make sure you check that out. Also, I want to point out, and not to discourage you from going to Good How Are You Fest, but May 10th, the Melvins will be here, and super looking forward to hopefully being able to interview them, and that would be great. So let's talk about some events going on at the Fire. May 1st, you have On the Spot Improv Songwriting Night, and then May 2nd, you have Wednesday Fever every first Wednesday. May 3rd, you have Alarms, Sun, Tunnel, and Friends. May 4th, Notes from the Field album release party. May 5th, Anime Birthday, Great Neck, Necrosexual. May 6th, you have a rib cook-off. Something I'm really looking forward to. I'm super curious about that. May 9th, you have Holovision's EP release show. May 10th, Temple Law, Paul Green live band karaoke. May 12th, Gypsy Night, Zap Goes Pop. May 13th, Kelly Raven. All of this is going down at the Fire. Every single show I'm listing is going down at the Fire. May 14th at the Fire, you have the Fallen Letters Tour. May 10th, Church Open Heckle Mic. I really, really, really want to get those guys on. May 16th, Woman Crush Wednesday. May 17th, Uke Phillies Uke Review at the Fire. May 18th, Hudson Falcons Dark Blue. May 19th, Rager for the Party Kids. May 20th, American Pinup Yonkers Handsome Crew. May 24th, Founding Fathers Ohio and more. May 26th, Free Search for Purpose Vantage. I'm not sure what that is. That's May 26th, yeah. So that's it. And then we get into June. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. And Maddie K, man, thanks for another great interview. And good luck with everything that you're doing at Good How Are You Records. Fully support that project. And I know you're going to do a great job with it. Talk to you later. Check. All right, man. Cheers.
Chin, chin.
Fucking Maddie, dude.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
Hey.
Here at Tralfamadore, man.
Here
Thanks
we
for having
are.
me back.
Here we are. So
there's a lot to fucking talk about, man.
yeah,
How have you been?
I'm really good. I'm really busy, but in a good way.
I
So
fucking like hearing that. I saw that you're doing music lessons again. You got some
I
open
am.
stops
I'm
for
doing.
that.
Yeah, I actually spent most of the day today teaching guitar. Literally right up to when the artist started loading in, I was finishing my last lesson, and I'm trying to do that.
Dude, that's so fucking rad. You have such a rad fucking life, dude.
Thank you.
Like, it's like you were
Thank
one of
you.
my favorite fucking people, man.
Thank you. I
Like,
try. I'm
I
just
love-
trying to live well.
You're fucking doing it, bro. You
Yeah,
know, the
I'm-
fact that you're able to live off of doing music
Music.
lessons and fucking shows
Yeah.
and fucking do, and then you've done a couple gnarly tours with Secret Nudist
We've done
Friends.
seven
Fucking shit,
tours.
dude.
And Drea, who's standing over there, who you can't see, was our tour manager on our first tour. So there you go.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
man. Yeah, she's awesome too.
Yeah, totally.
You know, so
Yeah.
fucking
Got a good
yeah,
good
I
family
want,
here.
I want to see Drea fucking do some more tours, man. 'cause
Yeah.
she's fucking great at that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. So what's new, man?
The quick rundown. Well, Charles Faminer, we've reached like 100 shows here. We're over 100 shows here over
Fuck.
2 years.
100 shows in 2 years?
Over a little over 2 years. Over
Motherfucker,
100
that's
shows
like
here.
a show a week, like
Almost,
average.
Almost, yeah. Some weeks more, some
Whoa.
weeks less. You know, we got that going on, so things are strong here. We're about to have the third festival in the Good How Are You Festival series.
You're gonna have to hold that close. So, all
yeah,
right.
the third festival in the Good How Are You Festival series. That's from May 10th, 11th, and 12th. May 10th is at Coble, first show there. It's another South Philly DIY spot. Then Slime Time, where we've been before, and it's going to be one of their last shows.
I was gonna say that shit's
Yeah.
shutting down.
Yeah, it's
right?
done. But Dan has things on the horizon, so stay tuned. There's going to be some new stuff birthing from the ashes there.
I
so.
like that. Is he
Yeah.
sticking around in the area?
Oh
or?
yeah. Trash Boy and all the projects involved with that crew is going to be strong. Just new houses, new look. Yeah, we'll keep you posted. There's going to be some big announcements in the next few months. So
I love that.
upward and onward. No more angry neighbors. And then the 12th we're going to close out the festival here on the 12th of May. And we've got, this is the first festival since starting the label. So now
So you did do that.
So we've started. It's in its infancy, but Good How Are You has now become. We have a music collective of about 11 artists. Plus, we've done a few tape releases and we're doing digital distribution for a few artists in the collective to help everyone. And the next step with we've been working with so many artists really closely who've
That
been really
smells so
giving
fucking
back.
Good. That
Yeah.
cigarette. I've been smoke free for so long, and
Yeah.
I'm about to smoke that right there.
There you go. But we have a really good family of artists. Let me see who's the official artist. It's Secret Nudist Friends, Blushed, Yinar, Kelsey Cork and the Swigs, Busy Bee, K910, Overwinter, Puppy Angst. Oh my God, this is so hard to think of. Honey Tiger, Madam West.
Fuck, dude, that sounds like all
I
the
mean-
bands that have been like passing through here.
Yeah,
They're,
and just some of the people who've played the most, who've contributed the most, and everyone's working together to do artwork to help each other with releases. We have tape releases. Eventually, we're trying to find some vinyl people to help us do vinyl. We're helping each other with merch. We're really just all working together. We're doing also the Northside Festival in New York, which I've played at and hosted at as Paper Scissors Media. We're doing the first Good How Are You, producing a showcase at a major music festival. Also, just kind of expanding. We're also talking about maybe doing something in the next year or two, maybe at South by Southwest.
holy
So
shit,
yeah,
dude.
so things are coming up. We just coming up on the releases. We have the K910 album coming out. We just did a tape release for Trash Boy. Secret News Friends
There's
reissued.
a fucking tape now?
Yeah.
Trash Boy?
Oh yeah, we have tapes now on Good How Are You.
Oh shit.
The first studio single from Blushed is dropping on May 4th for a week. The first studio track, we've always done DIY stuff, but we've been working with Headroom Studios in Kensington, doing some legit studio work with Kyle Pulley there and Jackie. They've been helping us and really working as a team. Trash Boy is going to record a record with them as well. Blushed and Secret News Friends have a split coming out. We got singles coming out every few weeks now. Honey Tiger's putting out a new album. Madam West just dropped their album. I mean, everything's coming up roses, and we're all working together to make it happen. And it's starting to feel less like each thing is important. It's just all a flow of people working together, and we're helping each other out, and we're doing it together. And everyone is contributing what they contribute. Artwork, websites. We have a website coming up soon, which is going to have all of our merch and our releases and bios of everyone to help with booking and tour managing and things like that. So, and Blushed is going on our first tour in June. So there's just so much. Everyone working together is helping everyone do better.
All right, so
that's-
you know that the journalist in me is going to have to break
Yeah.
this down,
Yeah.
right? So, all right. All right, so there's so much fucking going on.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. It's
I feel
insane.
like I haven't been around this place in a
Yeah.
while, and I've missed out. So I
Oh,
feel
by
like
the way,
I'm-
where you're at tonight is that we've been doing Good How Are You has also been hosting like kind of almost somewhere between an open mic and a show, basically where all local artists get together and like show their new work. And we have poets tonight. We have burlesque artists tonight. We have some regulars and some new people. And what we've been trying to do is like try and get together almost like a showcase of what people are working on. That's what tonight is.
dude, look at this,
yeah.
dude. This is
So,
fucking gnarly
yeah.
as
So we're
fuck,
we're
dude.
trying to do it.
I love this.
Oh, I got to see if they finished
Yeah,
to turn
go
up
for
the
it.
house.
Go
music.
for it. Go for
Hold
it.
this mic.
I'll keep talking and going on, dude. So this is exactly what happens when good people get together and contribute to something to make something happen. I can't wait to dissect this and see what's happening. So he's back already. This guy's fucking working left and right.
I'm just trying to do the thing, you know.
All right, so fuck
Yeah.
that you dropped so much information. I don't even know where to fucking start. All right, so we'll start with tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with tonight.
Sure.
Good How Are You Fest. It started off as I remember it,
Yeah.
a huge festival.
Mhm.
It was fucking 3 fucking days long.
Uh-huh.
There were a bunch of badass motherfucking
Yeah.
bands here. I
Here
came
in
here
Slime Time it
here in
started.
Slime Time,
And then
exactly
we did it
right.
at the Woods. We called it Great How Have You Been?
Yeah, I
Because
remember
we didn't know if it was going to happen again.
right.
Great How Have You Been was the joke. So now this is Good How Are You Fest 2018.
All right, cool.
And we might do Great How Have You Been in the fall. We might make the fall festival Great How Have You Been, and then the spring
That would
festival Good
make
How Are You.
sense.
I'm also
You know, it makes sense too because the fall you've got like
Yeah.
Christmas and everything. That's when families get together.
yeah,
It's
have
like,
you
hey
been?
man, how have
yeah.
you been?
Yeah, you went through the summer because the winter's trash, you know.
Yeah.
So you spent the summer. What'd you do this? Oh, how were you?
It's-
How'd it go? We're about to all hibernate, so
Yeah.
we're gonna probably have a Great How Have You Been festival in the fall, like working with new people, and I think we kind of know what we're trying to accomplish, and we're trying to accomplish like sustainability of a music community through helping each other out and everyone, even like we just did distribution for a bunch of the artists in the group, and everyone, you know, it costs money to get your music out there, but if we work together, we now have a label account, so anyone who wants to be a part of the distribution, now instead of like dishing out your money to get your music up, it's kind of like, well, throw in a few dollars into the collective and we'll fund it as the label, and then once we start making money, we can sustain the artist. You know, this is not about profit, it's about sustainability. Because being a musician is just a dump of money into a garbage can, you know. But if you can get people to work together, you're not killing yourself to do what you want to do, and eventually, hopefully, you can sustain yourself as a musician. That's kind of the long-term goal. You know, none of us are trying to get rich. We're just trying to keep making music.
Fucking.
And I think that's become the big goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
when I came here, one of the things that, like really delving into like the local scene or whatever,
Mhm.
and being here in the first Good How Are You Fest when I was here,
Yeah.
I remember talking to all of the artists,
Yeah.
and one of the big discussions, one of the things that came out of that is like, how do I be an artist and fucking
Yeah.
live,
It's
like
very hard.
survive?
It's
You
really
know what I
hard.
mean? So,
And that's a question that like people, I like as someone who is mostly supporting themselves like as a freelancer and as a musician, like a lot of people ask me how I do it, and I'm like, some months I don't, like some months I'm panicked and some months I'm okay, and you know, so it's always in flux, and I feel like the more we work together, the fewer moments I have where I'm really panicked, but it is hard. It's really hard because like to be able to do this and take it seriously, you really can't work a job at a certain point. Like the amount of touring, like if I were working a job, I would have been fired 4 times by now, but just for leaving or
Yeah.
just for asking off. You know I hear people all the time, oh, I can't get off for the show. I'm like, go get a different job. They're like, easier said than done. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Even trying to be like, so we have, you have college graduates in the
Yeah.
scene. So even trying
Some
to like,
intelligent freaking people too.
so trying to hold like a professional fucking gig.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Let me check.
All right, go check.
Hold this. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is this
yeah,
is,
I got it.
but we're gonna get through this.
All right, cool.
Hold on, yeah.
Yeah, so just even like for those listening, but like it's fucking difficult, man, to like to do something that you enjoy doing, right? And you're trying to put your all into this, but you've got regular bills, you've got, I mean, everybody's got to pay to live somewhere. You got to pay rent, you've got to pay gas, water, electric. You got to pay your cell phone bill, man. And so to take time off, if you want to do 30 days to do a nice tour, that shit's going to take that's going to take a lot of time out of your day job. And that shit's going to fucking suck. Now we got people wandering out here, wondering there's some fucking wino talking into a microphone. Yeah, that's fucking happening. But yeah, man. So you got to think about these artists and these folks who are trying to make a living, hold some type of real fucking job down, and still maintain like their love and their passion for music, and still trying to want to seriously put out albums and seriously do shit. So it's like one of the biggest fucking struggles that you see here.
Yep.
Right. However, I did just recently interview a band called Tooth Grinder, and they're fucking signed. They're from Jersey. They signed to Spine Farm Records. One of the dudes is civil fucking engineer. The other one's a professional chef, and they're able to get like time off to be able to do these mini tours and stuff.
Interestingly, I always find the food industry to be tied to the arts. I see food as an art. I've always seen. I find that when I meet someone who works in the food industry, chefs are rock stars. They are schlepping. They're working hard. It's very thankless. It's a lot of brute work. You're climbing your ladder. It's very similar to being a musician. You know, I meet someone who works in accounting, and I don't feel like I have a lot in common. I meet someone who works in a kitchen. I'm like, yeah, you're doing what I'm doing.
So that's funny. I just interviewed Chef Millie, and fucking he was saying,
yeah.
So he was saying the same fucking shit that that you know the cool thing about the culinary field is that it's very much a come as you are. Field.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't matter. Tattoos, your piercing. If you do your job well, you're gonna get.
Doesn't matter if you have fucking felonies. It doesn't matter if you have shit.
And a lot of people have been to jail, have worked their way out of that, have worked their way out of trouble. Same way as musicians, same way as artists. You know, because that experience led them to where they're doing. You know, so I think that's very. There's a lot of.
So yeah, man. So I get that. So what I want to break down is tonight. So Good How Are You Fest.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be another Good How Are You Fest.
There's Good. Right? So it's Good How Are You Fest. Then there was Great How Have You Been Fest, and that'll be the spring fall
thing. So what's
thing.
tonight?
So tonight is the 5th installment of a monthly artist showcase. So
is there a name for
this is Good How Are You number 5.
Okay, got you. All right, understood.
So to be very confusing, it's Good How Are You number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, the goal is to have a slightly different format versus a show where it's a little less vetted, but it's also like, oh, you want to do some poetry? Oh, you want to do a burlesque thing? Oh, cool. Well, I have this electronic act too. I'd like to have back. Like Neverender is sitting next to me, and everyone's coming and going next to us. I like it.
Yeah.
And everyone, you know, there's like Cleo who just performed Lead Lids. I'd never heard before. Sent me a thing, and like when you have touring bands and things to support, especially when you want to try out a new artist, and by try out I mean like literally sometimes you need artists to draw and do that because you have touring bands and there's a whole support system of that. You know, going back and forth. But it's good to have a night where it's just locals hanging out. You get to hear someone new, hear some old friends. And I think that one of the things that was getting me down was that I was stressing all the time about some of the nights I book have touring artists who you need to help support their tour. Whereas tonight, you know, we're going to split, you know,
whatever
things evenly. Yeah, we split whatever it is because it's more about just like keeping the local scene going the same way the festivals happen. But you know, there is a certain pressure with the touring artist, and I tend to not try new people out because I have such a roster, and I always want to diversify that. But without this opportunity, we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think I have to like by throwing like local nights and these kind of like mini fests as they are. It helps me hear new people. It helps people get their art out. It helps people hear something different, see something different, and. You know, it's another kind of show that doesn't exist enough, and it exists in, you know, a certain place. It's a salon in the traditional sense of the 1800s of like a bunch of people getting together to read their poetry and play their songs, and I see it like that, and it has to happen because that's what keeps people together, and it's what lets people have their new voices. You know.
So I love this idea of less vetted, is what you said. So it's kind of like, hey, you know. I'm here in the area, you know, I'm in this area. Check this out. Can we, and it gives you an opportunity or locals an opportunity to kind of like try new shit out.
Yeah, exactly.
See what's going on.
Yeah.
Poets even, you know.
Like, and we don't have a touring band who we know we need to get $50 to, or they're not going to make it to the next city without pulling out of their pockets. As a touring musician, I know that is so important. You know, we had a show here the other day I thought no one was going to come to, and I ended up paying the touring band $150. And some nights you scrounge for $20 because you just don't know how the night's going to be.
Right.
And and no one's making money. That's literally just keeping you going.
Right. Absolutely.
When you're on tour, if you're not making $50 a night, you're going broke, and you're not working a job when you're on tour.
Yeah.
You know, you're spending too much money. So like. Part of like the DIY community on a national level is really looking out for each other when we go on tour, of saying, how do we make sure that when you're on tour that I can help you get to your next city? And
Right.
that's a big responsibility, and it always frightens me as someone who relies on others to do that too, and really appreciates. And even when it's a bust on tour, you never hold anyone, you're never upset about it. But damn, when you have a good night on tour, it's great,
Right.
and you're always trying to do that. Whereas, like, when you just get together with locals, try some new artists out, things like that, you get to finally hear something new, and you don't get stuck. Oh, I know these 4 artists,
Need to get fucking paid.
And, like, Neverender played a show here. I knew Zach from a while ago through Space Pizza, and, like, different people like that who, like...
Hold on, who was in Space Pizza?
Yeah, way back.
Hold on,
yeah.
didn't I fucking go to you? I know I interviewed Space Pizza because I have your fucking shirt. I have your fucking
Yeah.
T-shirt. Yeah, the
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
rad too.
But, so that's what this is, yeah.
So I think also, just to touch on that subject, is that being the fucking promoter
Yeah.
is being in the fucking hot seat,
Oh, it's so
right?
scary.
Because
I'm
at the end of the day,
terrified at
you're
all
the
points.
one.
I literally... And promoters are hated. Promoters
Fuck yeah,
are
they
hated.
are, dude.
Dude, promoters are hated, and I'm not. I mean, I'm a promoter and I love hosting shows, but I'm a musician and I'm a schlep like everyone else. Like,
Right.
I don't make any money, and I'm just trying to do this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
dude, and fucking, it's the fucking hot seat. You're
Yeah.
responsible for everything. You gotta go.
I don't know.
Uh,
Ask me a few more questions, and I'm going to take another break again and set up the next
Cool.
act. Because I'm also the promoter, the sound person, and it's my goddamn house. No, but
Well, it's just that there's so much to ask. So,
Yeah.
so all right. So you got. I love that the fact that there's this open space to do this, right?
yeah,
And you said it's monthly.
this show is a monthly
Okay.
show.
All right. Perfect. So like even what? So like let's say. Me, I've been wanting to try like stand up. This would be a place to do it. All right,
Absolutely.
cool. All
You
right,
can
cool.
message me tomorrow and you can do stand up. That's what I'm saying. That needs to happen, and people need that where it's not a bar.
Right.
Because these bars do that, but bars are really just trying to get money at the bar.
Absolutely.
And like that's their job. I mean, I'm not
Right,
shitting
right.
on them. Bars are tough business to run.
Absolutely.
I don't know how anyone does it.
Have you fucked around with the fire yet?
I used to work at the fire like
Oh.
a few years. I used to book there. I book at Connie. I used to book at pharmacy. I booked at Kung Fu Necktie. I've worked at bars. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So,
Yeah. Wait. I got to do my quick
do
changeover.
It, do it. Do
Pause.
It. All right, you got it. I think we can pause it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Fucking. Yeah. Dude, I'm doing a small little podcast called No Love Philly. It's a podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, brewers, and basically anybody in, around, or passing through the city of brotherly love that makes this place as awesome as it is. So that's what I do. What are you guys doing here?
I'm a friend of Maddie's. I've played here before, but I wanted to come through.
Oh, you're a performer.
the show. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. What are you doing?
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Francis, and I actually have a project called Overwinter.
Overwinter. All right.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's a solo project, actually. I'm a one-man band, and basically, I write a lot of songs about being sad or gay or other things, and try to make it very dancey.
Wow, man. So sad gay dance. Is
Yes,
what-
sad gay dance.
That's awesome. That's very creative. So I heard something about a whole movement of sad rap that goes around, and so I'm super
Oh,
curious to
yeah.
like check that out. You know.
Mhm.
So what are you like electronic or is
Yeah.
it? Oh, okay, cool.
Trying to
I've
do
been-
inspiration from like Massive Attack, Portishead, kind of stuff
Okay,
like
cool.
that.
I've been jamming Nine Inch Nails all day in the truck, so I'm happy.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
man.
good shit.
It is. I think that pretty underrated, and nobody fucking really listens to them anymore. And so I'm always happy to pull out that catalog and jam it the fuck
Be
out.
like, listen, this is some good stuff here.
So you like Kraftwerk? All right, awesome. All right, so
You
I'm
best
digging the.
believe.
Did you perform earlier?
No, I'm actually just here to see the other artists. and
Okay,
stuff
all
like
right,
that, yeah.
all right, all right. Because I
Yeah.
heard something kind of electronic, kind of synthy
Yeah,
earlier, and I was like,
that
what is that?
was actually I just followed them on Spotify because I really liked what they did. Hoping maybe to work with them at some point. What was it? Oh, Lead Lids. Yeah,
Lead Lids?
yeah.
Huh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to fucking hear the whole set. What was it like? Was it?
It was very mellow and like
It
was
sounded
a-
like very tranquil.
yeah, and it was kind of a cool like trippy thing. You know, they actually wrote an entire song about the first time they ever took acid. Was They took 2 tabs, and it very much sounded like that.
So you're here tonight. This is obviously a very inviting space. Have you had the opportunity to play one of the Good How Are You Fest yet?
I have, and I'm actually playing next month at the May Good How Are You here day 3. So
That's
Should be
awesome.
fun.
That's when it ends here, right?
Yeah.
And that's May what?
It's May 10th through the 12th, if I remember correctly.
Fuck, I hope I don't have anything going on that day those days specific. I don't really know. So how did you get linked up with Maddie, and how did you get linked up with Tralfamadore? And
So actually, it was kind of interesting. I used to live in Westchester in Pennsylvania, and I had a friend who actually plays here a lot in the city. Is based out of Philly now. Kelsey Corkin Swigs.
oh fuck yeah, we had them on. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yes. And I was dating someone at the time who was their childhood best friend,
Okay.
and we were like, "Yo, like we should drive out to Philly and see the show, like see them play." And we came here, and that's how I met Maddie.
Very
and stuff
awesome.
like that. And I started coming here a lot, just to see shows, 'cause it was really cool. It was good vibes.
It's
and
an
stuff.
awesome spot, you know what I mean? And it's like it's been running for so long, and like I said, it is so inviting and so inclusive, and it's just like a rad place to be, you know. So how long is your set?
Ooh, it can range from, if someone tells me 30 minutes, then I'll pack it down to 30 minutes, but I can put it up to an hour.
That's what's up, dude. All the way to an hour?
Yes.
Holy shit, dude!
I,
That's a lot of music.
Yeah, I have I have covers that I do, and I also have Good How Are You records, or actually is actually going to be putting out my album in the summertime ish.
That's awesome, dude.
So
So how many songs is that going to be?
that is going to be 14 tracks.
Holy cow, dude! That's a lot of songs, dude.
I put out an EP this past fall, and
And you still had music left
and I
over
still
after
have
that?
music left over. I started writing as soon as my EP had just gotten released. Like they were like, "Congrats, it's online," like kind of thing. And I was still writing, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I have another EP lined up." And I was like, "Wait, let me wait a minute." And then I was like, "Oh my god, I have an album lined up."
That's awesome.
And
man.
now at this point, it's actually gotten to I have this album, and I'm already writing another album to follow after.
Where
that.
did you record?
I self-record in North Philly.
All right. What part
Yeah.
of North Philly?
I live right off of Broad and Allegheny near Temple Hospital.
That's the spot, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That is the spot. I love that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got 14 tracks. You've toured?
I have not yet. I'm planning on hopefully booking a tour at the end of the summer.
All right.
To do a little thing.
What are some of the places you're hoping to hit?
I had someone ask me to play down in West Virginia, actually.
That's got to be unique.
So it's interesting. I actually went down to West Virginia for a music festival like 2 years ago, and it was really interesting. Middle of nowhere, country bumpkins, but like really chill kind of thing.
So like local music festival or what kind of?
Yeah, it was a local festival, like completely grassroots
Wow,
and everything like that.
How many was it? Like a 2-day or a 3-day, or
a
was it in a
4-day
field?
it
I
was a
imagine a field.
It was a 4-day festival
Oh,
on a
shit.
mountain.
There we go. There's Maddie.
Yes. Hey.
Overwinter is one of the Good How Are You collective /label artists.
I hear you.
Producing an album soon and re-releasing tape releases.
Yep. Doing a tape release of
So we got to
Condor.
talk about that more.
Yes,
You still got some time?
I got 10 minutes left.
All right, let's do it. Let's
Let's
do
pass this off. Maddie Klauser.
Let me hop in the corner. You can sit there more.
it. All right, so that was a nice little break. We got to talk to one of the artists
Francis.
here.
Yeah, Francis
Francis.
Overwinter.
Francis Overwinter.
Overwinter is the artist. Francis Punton is the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're an awesome person. So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
awesome.
so what's next on the
All right,
agenda?
so next, what I want to talk about is so let's talk about the Good How Are You label. right?
Cool.
All right. So what I want to know is first of all, what is entailed? So what's all entailed with that? Because you named a shitload of bands.
Yeah.
So right there as a label, that's a fuck ton of responsibility.
I know, and it's we have a group of people. We got Deb Gilmore, Andy Slepman, Dan Baggerly, Missy
Fucking
Pigeon.
Andy is such a character.
Yeah,
I love that
know.
motherfucker.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love
Me too.
that
So
motherfucker.
much. Missy Pigeon and me, and we're all just kind of pooling some resources here. So basically, we're starting slow. First is cross promotion. So I'm taking a lot of my cues from my friends at King Pizza Records in New York. So King Pizza Records started out as the same thing. Group of bands, group of artists playing together, helping each other out. And all of a sudden, let's build a website. Oh, let's help each other do releases. And I'm really taking a lot of my cues from what they do. And I strongly encourage people to check out everything King Pizza Records in Brooklyn is doing. Very similar collective in a city that's even harder to do it in. So in a city that's much harder.
Fucking
know,
A, dude. I would
yeah.
imagine it's so diluted. That's why
Yeah.
you moved here.
That's
right?
why I
It's
moved
like-
here. Among other reasons, I just found this city to be a lot easier to get your footing.
So let's.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So let's talk about let's talk about distribution, right?
Yeah. So distribution is expensive.
So a world that I know nothing about. I hear about it a lot.
So
I understand
if
the
you want to
importance
get
of
your
it.
music on different things,
Spotify.
yeah,
what do you-
Spotify, iTunes, you have to negotiate royalties. You have to do this, and there are distribution sites, CD Baby, DistroKid, that help smaller artists out where they don't have a bigger label behind them. Now, like, part of what you can do as a smaller label is you can get a distribution account with one of these companies where you can save money. Each artist can contribute very little
so
capital.
Instead of it being like so the so like if you're like a little label doing the distribution,
You
the
can get a
cost
label
might be
account.
a little bit more expensive, but you're
more
not going to pay the
expensive.
full fee as like if you were
Yeah,
an
if you're
independent person.
if you're an independent artist, you're getting
Motherfucker.
screwed by these people. I mean, some of them are like DistroKid. I think is really reputable. It's an artist for artist group, but some of them really are not the best. But I think as a label, you have the power to save people money and help them. So a band wants to put out as we get more artists on the label, it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and all
Because everybody's
of
pitching
a sudden, it becomes free because once the label can sustain itself, a distribution account.
It's added as a value to the person signing on. Well, we can do this. It's not going to cost you anything.
And as someone coming onto the label, tour booking. I mean, I have Paper Scissors Media, and I've been doing tour booking for years now, and I'm getting more and more established with that. That's part of what it means to be on the label. It means cross promotion. It means us doing your distribution. It means helping you get your cassettes, your vinyl done eventually. We're looking for a vinyl distributor right now, because obviously we're not going to buy a diamond cutter. We don't have the money. Sorry, but records are important. That's the meat and potatoes of what we do here. So we got to put out a record here.
All right. So now how did you find out about that? Was that from the pizza? What
How do you find about distribution?
Yeah.
Oh, just from working as an independent artist and figuring out how can this get easier, and you can see it's all very transparent. It's like, oh, label account, oh, that's a few $100s, but I'm paying $70 to do the same thing. If there's 8 people on it, that's $30 per. The more you add to it, it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and then not only if you have a booking person behind you, we have someone on our team doing website design. We have someone on our team doing all this. All of a sudden, you don't have to pay 50 people. You're not spending, as an artist, $400 to get your basic needs met. You're throwing in $30 or $40 into the collective pool of the artist collective, and then someone's doing it.
So does that go on as like a general consensus that everybody says, or is it like, no, it's this person's turn? You already have your side
Well, no,
up.
I mean, we have someone who does posters, and that's their skill set. We have someone who builds websites. That's their skill set. So when someone's like, oh, I got to get my album up on Spotify. Okay, what do we need in the account? Oh, you want to throw me $10 so I can get that going? Cool, that's our deficit right now. And as people need something, we throw a little money into the collective. And instead of each artist throwing in the total that would have to be put in, we have 10 artists or 12 artists doing that, and then just enough organization to make sure it works. That's how it starts. The next phase is, getting notoriety, getting people to pay attention. So when I send out something under the Good How Are You brand, instead of being ignored, hopefully that artist will get listened to because what we're doing is good.
And because now you've got so many people talking about
Exactly.
it, it's like...
And this is how you do it yourself. And this is how we get out of going broke and going crazy and having to take on another job just to be in a band. And that's the goal. I mean, because so many people are taking on another job just to support their band. When you take on another job, you can't be in your band. And that's the paradox of it all, is that it requires more work and more money to be in a band. If you're not independently wealthy, and if you're working in a higher profile job, you can't tour. It's
Dude,
just,
even being working a day job and staying
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
Fucking hauling your equipment from wherever the
Yeah.
fuck you've got it to the
costs-
show, then back to wherever the fuck you got it,
that's
so
a-
that you can go to work the next day.
Yeah, it's time, it's effort, and
Insane.
people's time and their energy is valuable. The older I get, I realize how valuable people's energy is. I know that's cliche, but
the
like,
older I get, it's time.
yeah,
It's
time and
100%
energy.
time.
Time and energy
You
means
can't get
something.
your fucking time back, dude.
You can't. And when you're putting in your money and your time and not getting a lot back, it's very depressing. So to eliminate as much of that as possible is the overall goal. That is the goal, is to make people get recognized for what they're doing, because people put in so much work. And the people I'm working with, these artists that I'm working with, the artists that are playing here tonight and that I work with in the collective and the label, they put in so much. They overextend themselves on a regular basis, and they deserve more. And the only way to do that without the capital to do that, and without is to work as a community and pool our resources and do the best we can. That's the goal.
How
that's
soon will it be till the Good How Are You site is up?
about another month or two as we organize and we get our shit together. Our website designer actually just finished is finishing her finals on Tuesday. So after that, there'll be a little more time to work on it. That's actually on the agenda for 2 weeks from now with some website building. So we've collected the things, the information. Now we just gotta put it together.
Yeah, man.
But having someone who's a skilled person at web design, who's an artist on the label, Busy Bee, Deb Gilmore is putting together the website. Just having that skill set. We just K910 just joined, and Michael's from K910's been doing a lot of our poster work. Missy's doing a lot of poster work besides being in Blushed and also helping me run Tralf. So like everyone has so many hats that they wear and so many jobs, and we do this, because we lift each other up. Big news for Secret Nudist Friends. We're playing at Underground Arts, opening for La Luz. Fucking Honey Tiger just played the Foundry at the Fillmore. We're a bunch of us are playing the bigger venues, and we're doing that because we come out to each other's shows and support us and tell our friends about it. And hopefully, when we get there, it's good enough that people keep coming. But we have to work together, because if we're divided, it's not gonna work, because we're not rich and we're not socialites. We are working people. We are blue collar workers in a thankless world, in a city that's good to do it in.
Yeah,
thank God.
sure.
Thank
This
God
is
it's a
the
good city.
spot,
So I got to go do a changeover
all
on
right.
that note.
Yeah, man. So we can end it here. I know you got to do changeover. 30-second crazy ass Philly story that's happened since the last time we talked.
Crazy story. Okay, cool. So Secret News Friends was on tour. Our friends in Charlotte, Alec Miller of Broke Jokes and of Killer Miller shows in Charlotte. Check it out. Good people. Just as good as here, if not better. I don't know. It's not a comparison. But anyway, Alec Miller was like, it's not going to be a big party this time. Within like 30 minutes of being at Alec's house, there were like 50 people there, 60 people. We got there at 1 a.m. in Charlotte on a Monday. And I mean, there's like, you want mushrooms? You want this? You want that? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, and already the hospitality is through the roof. So we thought that would be the crazy night. So we go then to Blacksburg, Virginia, and played this amazing XYZ gallery, art gallery there. And our friend Cam Wheatley, our new friend, hosted us a great show. We go back to his house. It's going to be kind of mellow. No, there's a tree stump with a satanic curse to their building supervisor, in which they're playing a game in which you throw a hammer into the air and you each have to hit each other's nail. Meanwhile, while there's sitars and freaking world instruments around, there's basically like a meditation happening in one side of the room, and it's going to be a mellow night. All I know is that the DIY scene and the people in it around the country are throwing us good parties. So go to Charlotte, go to Blacksburg, check out Alec Miller and Cam Wheatley at XYZ Gallery and Killer Miller shows, because not only do they throw killer shows, but they throw some parties that'll open your mind and teach you that every single city that is part of this national DIY scene has some cool people throwing some cool stuff. So
Rad interview, dude.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Maddie K.
Thank you.
What is your last name?
I like Matty K. You can do that. That's actually what I used to go by.
All right,
I still
cool.
like it. Klauser, Klauser, but I don't care about that.
Maddie K. Fucking enjoy it, dude. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
Another
Shane.
rad interview, brother.
Thank you so
All right, I'm
much.
going to hit you up for a video bumper here in a little while, all right?
Yep.
And
Thank
that's it,
you.
folks. Enjoy that shit.